Okay guys, this is a quick video on how to wire up the clutch pedal switch on an 05, 06 Jetta TDI with a BRM engine if it's a manual swap. So how to get your starter working. I could not find this. Most of the information was there, it just wasn't there in a form that you could actually use. So I had a very hard time finding the part number for this switch, so I will post that in the description. It's right there if you want to see that. Other thing is it is a 5-pin connector. Down here by the DSG connector, you can see that here. Basically the brown wires are ground. So you run those, you can just cut them at the DSG connector. You probably don't have to use both, I did, but just use one of those for ground, and that will go up here to the connector, and it will connect to, it's not focusing, it's pin 1, that brown with the little green on it, pin 1 on the connector. I was under the impression from looking online that all you need to do is connect pin 1 and pin 4. Pin 4 goes to this purple and black wire right here. You can see the black stripe on it, I hope, right there, and it's connected to this white wire here. That will go up to pin 4 on this connector. So once you have those two connected, some people have gotten their car to start. That did not work for me. I had an 08 Jetta here with a manual that I did some testing on. If it turns out pin 5 has to be connected also. If it is not, it will not start. I tried it on the 08 Jetta, which is manual from the factory, and it will not start either. Pin 5 is just power all the time. It's not switched ignition source, it's solid power. I checked in the Bentley manual. Ideally it would go to fuse 22 in the panel, which is also the brake light or brake switch fuse, which would be right here. This used to be a DSG, so fuse 5, which is right here, used to be a 15 amp. It goes straight to the DSG connector. I swapped it for a 5 amp fuse, which is what it should be for the clutch. And those wires for that fuse are down here by the DSG connector. It is this red and yellow wire. There are actually 2 of them. I don't know if it goes to both of them or not, but I know it at least goes to this one here. So after that, now this is a 5 amp fused power source. That goes to pin 5 on the connector. After that is connected, you just need those 3 wires. Plug it into your clutch switch in the back there. You can see, hopefully see the master cylinder back there, right back in there. So just plug it into the master cylinder on the clutch switch and it should start. One more thing with this Jetta, the purple and black wire, the purple wire or violet with a black stripe, which is pin 4 on that clutch connector, it goes in here on the vehicle electronics module or controller. And I'll show it to you real quick just so you can see it. You can see the 2 letters there, E and F, and it's pin 7 of this connector right here. I'll back up a little bit so you can see it. It would be this connector here. This wire right here, this purple and black one, or violet and black, this one goes into pin 7. That is already connected. You don't have to touch it. But for testing purposes, you know, if you want to test it for ground or something, you can pin 7 right here. That is the wire. And that is where it should be. So you can put your multimeter or whatever on there, and also there's a ground wire here on the OBD2 port. So if you're testing for ground, you can put your multimeter on there. It will not have ground there unless the clutch switch has power. If the clutch switch does not have power, you probably will not have ground there. Once it does have power, you will get ground there and it will work fine. So once that's wired, should be good to go, and it starts. Praise God. Well, sorry, one more thing on this Jetta. For cruise control, I haven't wired it yet, but I figured I'd show you from the Bentley manual. Electric wiring diagrams, page 387 is the page from a July 06 Jetta. I checked it from an 05 too, it's the same, so either one is fine. Here's the wiring diagram for the clutch switch. I don't know if you know how to read these at all, but basically this wire here, it's a 5-terminal connector, the T5M, and then the number with a slash, 1, 2, 4, 5, that's the terminal it is. So this bottom one here is a 0.5, it's terminal 1, and it goes to 16. You can see these numbers on the bottom right here. We're like 190s. So if you flip back to a 16, you'll see right here you got a 16, and it shows that it goes up to 196, which is where we just were. It's connected to 382, 374, 43. Go up here, those are all ground connections. So we know that terminal 1 needs to be grounded. So back to this, I'll show you the cruise control. Cruise control is terminal 2 here. It goes right up to J623, which is the actual ECM. So up here, you can read it, right there. It is the 94 pin connector. You can see here T94 means it's 94 pin connector on the ECM. And it is pin 43. So if you connect that wire, pin 2, to pin 43 of the ECU, then you'll be wired for cruise control. The ECU, as far as I know, would have to be tuned or replaced with the manual ECU before that would function, but that's how you wire the clutch switch. So we just have the connector down here. I already wrapped it all up. But anyways, this wire goes to pin 2. So if you send that to the 94 pin connector, pin 43 of the ECM, then your clutch switch is wired perfectly.